Navy football, a few weeks away from starting the season, but they're having a great event coming up on Saturday in Annapolis. Fan Fest, great chance for you to get out, check out the team, get some autographs, meet the players. And one of those players you're going to have the chance to meet who the preseason accolades have been rolling in for, including being named to the Maxwell Award watch list. He is Navy quarterback Braxton Woodson, and he is back with us now here on GCR. Braxton, it's Glenn. It's great to see you again, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, Braxton, can you take me as you move into this role now as the starting quarterback? How much have your experiences getting to play, being such a significant part of the offense, how prepared do you feel like you are now to be the full time starter, given the chances that you've had?
Yeah, I feel very prepared and I'm very blessed and grateful to have those opportunities. Those were very crucial moments for me. I think as far as just like, having nerves or being going out there and just not, fully confident in your ability, having those, being able to get out those wrinkles those past couple of years has been very good for me.
What is the difference like from you from a mentality standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, when you do come into a season as like the undisputed QB? We always talk about QB1, right? Like it's just a
Mhm.
phrase we love to use. What did it mean for you maybe during the spring, into the summer, how you carried yourself? What changed for you knowing that was your role now?
Yeah, I think it's like you just said. It's just how you carry yourself, is how, you jump into that role, how you assume that role. Obviously, it's a little bit more than just being a quarterback. You're the guy that everybody's looking to, so you got to prepare yourself the right way, and you got to execute at practice the right way, that kind of thing.
What did you learn from being around Blake and the relationship that you guys had? And I like it was really cool last year talking about like how he helped you prepare when you were the guy, right? While he was hurt.
Mhm.
What are the things that maybe you took away from him and how that's benefited you as you now take on that QB1 role?
Yeah, I think outside of the football stuff, Blake was just a really good people person, and he was just really good at having that leadership characteristic. And I think that's something that I learned from him. His ability to kind of like make sure he knew everybody that he was leading, and everybody had a understanding of what his goal was stepping into every game. I think that's an area where he was really effective, and that's where I try to take bits and pieces from there.
You are an electric playmaker. We know that about you, right? Like we have seen that. What are maybe some of the like next wrinkles of your game that is you've gotten even more entrenched and comfortable you feel like people are going to see as we go into 2026?
Yeah, I think it's just the ability to go out there. And just as far as just execute, I think execution is always good. It's good to see the big plays because those are kind of flashy, but just to go through a full drive and then come back out and do it the next time is really where I want to grow. Just the ability to go out there and not have the flashy plays and still be able to put points on the board.
Man, I feel like that's so important at Navy too, right? Like we know
Right.
what a Navy offense for as many electric plays as there'll be, there's going to be a point at which you're going to have a 12, 13, 14, maybe quarter long drive, right? Like that's going to
Mhm.
occur and do you almost have to like teach yourself that patience of hey, that's okay. That's a good thing. We
Right.
don't need to get it all at
Exactly.
once.
Mhm. Most definitely. That's exactly what I'm speaking on.
Was it a difficult thing for you at any point? Like, was there a part of you that was like, "Hey, man, I would kind of like if we just let's just go get those chunk plays"? Did you have to teach yourself maybe any of that patience?
Yeah, I mean, a 4 yard gain is a good football play. If you do that 3 times in a row, that's a first down. So you just got to be able to understand that. And I know everybody's chomping at the bit to get in the end zone, but you got to be okay with it sometimes.
Braxton Woodson is with us here on GCR Navy Fan Fest this Saturday in Annapolis. It starts 2 o'clock. Braxton, what does it mean beyond the football part of it? But what does it mean to you to be the starting quarterback at the Naval Academy and all of the tradition and all of the iconic players that have had that role over the years? What does the weight of that mean to you personally?
I think it's a weight that's just going to help me, play that much better because, I understand that, I'm walking on the shoulders of giants. There's a lot of guys who came before me who've done some really good things, not only on the football field, but within the brigade of midshipmen, within the community. So just being worthy of that every day is something that I'm striving for.
That's really cool, man, to hear you say it that way.
Mhm.
Does the country realize how good the offensive line in front of you is? Does like everybody under like we? I think you're getting a lot of attention. Does everybody know how good that group is that's protecting you?
Yeah, we really have some great leadership in that room, and Hoke Smith and Cam Nichols, like those dudes they're ready to work and they're coming out every day, putting their best foot forward, ready to go out there and get it. We got some guys that are really gonna make some noise this season. I truly believe that.
How are you with the accolades? I mentioned obviously the Maxwell list. There's been a lot of them related to the conference.
Mhm.
Are you the type that appreciates it? Are you more like that? I kind of wish they disrespected me, and so I could have a chip on my shoulder about it. Like, how are you with all of that stuff?
Yeah. I think, here at Navy, we always say the chip is on our shoulder. I feel like, some of us are a little bit undersized, under recruited, that kind of thing. So we always have a chip on our shoulder. But as far as the accolades go, I'm not really looking too much into that. My parents, they're all about the accolades and the he said this on the podcast and that kind of stuff. But, I leave that to them. I just worry
Wait,
about football.
hang on. Are they like texting you about it? Like, did you hear what this guy said about you? And do you say back like, "Hey, thanks, but maybe I like don't like"? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, mom. I appreciate it, but I'm gonna just worry about football. I'm good.
Right. We got to get ready for Towson. That's all that we can be
Yeah,
thinking about right now, not what
right.
anybody is saying to me.
Yeah.
That look, obviously we all know what a special year last year was, right? Like everyone
Mhm.
is aware. I still get goosebumps thinking about the way that you guys won the Army game. It was that special. The bowl games
Mhm.
that you guys have been winning, but we all know what's next, right? Is like that
Right.
that next step is winning the league and getting into the college football playoff. I recognize that you want to think about one game at a time. I acknowledge all of that, but how much do you feel like this team is capable of doing those things and that being the next step for this group?
Yeah, I think we're more than capable, and I think it's a very process and driven goal. I think you got to start, like you said, with the Townsend game, and you got to build from there because the team that wins that championship isn't the team that we have right now. I think every game we're going to learn and we're going to grow, and that's going to help us that much more when it's time, to play that big game. So we just got to, stay focused in the moment right now. Obviously, it's good to have goals down the field, but I think just sticking with that one day at a time, that 1-0 mentality that we talk about here is what's really going to help us out.
I appreciate that, man, and I think that
Yeah.
you guys are very capable. Who is it that maybe isn't getting the love that like you're saying? I've been watching this guy, maybe going up against him. I know practice just starting, but the way that he's come on in the spring, who's somebody that you can already see maybe is going to play an even bigger role on this team than what we've seen before?
I think as far as the defense goes, it's just like leadership and just taking it. I think our linebackers, I think Mark Anthony and Coleman do a great job, and they have like an infectious attitude as far as their approach, and they're just some hard nosed dudes. I mean, they're just really hard nosed dudes that want to go out there and play some football, and I think that's going to spread throughout our whole defense, and that's just going to make them that much better.
I was looking at your Instagram page and I saw a post where
Mhm.
you just said can't complain one bit. And it
Mhm.
it to me this post is like the definition of what makes you different than any other starting quarterback going into the college football
Mhm.
year, and it's that like the joy that you have is about everything that you're doing at the
Mhm.
academy
Right.
and holding the weapon and preparing for service. Can you
Mhm.
describe to me the entirety of this? That like it's really infectious as I saw this post that it goes so beyond just I'm on a really good football team and I'm the starting quarterback for a really good football team. It feels like the experience of everything you're doing is so much more meaningful to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you got to be able to compartmentalize. That's something that we talk about a lot here. Like, when it's time for football, put your nose down, go to work, and it's football 100%. But at the end of the day, we are midshipmen, and service is what's at the end of the line for us, for most of us at least. So you got to be worthy of that, and you got to be ready to prepare for that. So anytime we have some type of military or obligation or anything like that, even the classroom, you just got to be fully locked into that moment. And I think that was really just showing like the duality of everything that we do. And how you got to be able to, to spread yourself, in different areas and be able to, I guess, focus your attention in different places.
Do I remember you telling me last year that you didn't always know that you were going to love that part of it? And is that something that like you really have grown to love and appreciate the uniqueness of this experience that you're having?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I never started out, as a military
Yeah.
guy. I never thought that would be something in my cards. So when it falls into your lap, it takes some adjusting for sure. But you see the guys above you do it, and you see, just like the cool opportunity you have as far as a leadership perspective, and it's kind of like a no brainer.
Man, it's really cool to see that. I can't. It really does give me goosebumps, right? Like we root for you
Yeah.
anyway, but like just the appreciation of that is so freaking cool to me. And really says everything that we need to know about you and so many other guys that have come through. I mentioned other guys, right? Like, are you checking in with Eli as he's going through? Like, have you been talking? It's kind of crazy that like Navy's kind of peppering the NFL at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you been able to
No,
catch
I
up with?
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've definitely talked to Eli, and I talked to Rayon a little bit. I haven't
yeah.
talked to Landon so much. I'm sure he's pretty locked in up there in Cincinnati. But I wouldn't put it past those guys. If I gave them a call, they'd all answer. Despite how difficult and how challenging their careers are going right now, as far as making the teams and just competing, I think they'd still give me the time of day, which just says a lot about who we are and the type of people that come out of Navy.
What does it mean to you to see that like the pros are recognizing the program and what you guys are doing, and that there are more and more of your brothers that are getting those opportunities, and obviously we know you might be next on that list.
Mhm. I think it's just showing, you know, the world is starting to see what we feel like we've been doing this whole entire time. That we got some really good players that can go out there and compete at the highest level, and I'm just glad that they're getting the recognition that they deserve. Those guys put in a lot of work.
It's awesome, man. Did you get to have any fun? Or does it all work this summer? Did you get to get out, get anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of fun. I got to go back home for a little bit, hang
Cool.
out with my younger brothers, so I've been having some fun.
Are your brothers playing football too?
Yeah.
Man, all right. So like what's the level, do you start to try to sell them on like the Annapolis experience, or do you let them like
Yeah. Funny enough, my younger brother, he's going into his senior year. He's committed here.
oh,
He's
that is
gonna
awesome,
enjoy the
man.
pipeline.
How
Yeah.
cool is that?
Nah, it's awesome.
It's
Very, very
it's
cool.
a bummer that it won't work out like timeline wise for you to have like the
Yeah.
time together, but dude, how special like a moment is that for you when he makes that
Yeah.
decision?
No, it was really, really cool. It happened a little bit later in the spring, so that was very nice.
Oh,
It was
that's
very nice.
that's awesome, Braxton.
Yeah.
Braxton Woodson again. Navy Fan Fest is this Saturday afternoon in Annapolis. It's just a cool opportunity to meet some of the best players in the country, hang out, get some pictures and autographs, and sort of get things kicked off for Navy football season at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. And I encourage you to be giving Braxton a follow. I mentioned Instagram. It's bwoodson5 is how you follow him there. Braxton, look, man, we can't wait for the season to get underway and to be watching you week in and week out. We'll be in touch. Appreciate you taking the time for us, man. Best of luck as things get kicked off here in a couple of weeks.
Most definitely. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it.